Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another health and wellness session with myself, Alison, your instructor. It's so wonderful for you all to join me this evening, and I do hope that you all are well in health, and we're hoping to improve that this evening with a really lovely, gentle flow in yoga. So before we get started, ensure that you're in a comfortable seated position, that you're either, if you're on the floor, that you are seated in a cross-legged position, either with the ankles crossed, and if this is not accessible to you today, that your legs are outstretched so that your toes are flexed and pointing up to the sky. Another option is to be sitting on a chair with your back against a backrest so that you're supported. So once you've provided that particular space for yourself, make sure that you're relaxed and you're ready to start this session without any distractions around you. We'll take 3 deep breaths, just closing the eyes gently and allowing the spine to float straight and tall up to the sky. Let the head softly float on top of the neck, the chin parallel to the earth. And imagine that you've got a beam of light shining out of the crown of the head. That light shines all the way down to the spine, through the spine to the tailbone. Ensure that your knees are softened to the earth and your hips are grounded into the earth mat as well. Soften the hands onto the knees. Notice if the facial muscles are tense, if you're clenching your jaws, if you're frowning at all. Soften the forehead, the cheeks, the jaws, and gently part the lips. Take a deep abdominal breath in and exhale. Notice if you're slouching in the back, and try and correct that posture. You may wish to put yourself against a wall for a prop as well, or sit upon a cushion to raise the sit bones so that you're more grounded. So we'll take 3 deep breaths to acknowledge each other's presence. So inhaling, taking the arms nice and wide, gathering that energy around you up, palms to the sky and down to the heart space. Exhaling. Inhaling, taking the arms wide, looking to the sky if you wish, and exhaling the hands down. Inhaling deeply through the nostrils, palms wide, touching the sky, and exhale it down. And I'll acknowledge you. Namaste. So welcome everyone to this practice. It's going to hopefully be something that will rejuvenate the body and allow those of us who sit for long periods of time or use the body repetitively to open up and release. So we're going to start with some gentle stretches, side body and leg stretches as well. So get yourself, as I say, to change across in the legs if you wish to, because in yoga we try to do the opposite sides of the body and balance things off. So you're going to inhale, keeping the arms nice and wide, spider fingertips raised off the floor, and then just slightly walking around to your right hand side. So just allowing the body to naturally come here, not putting any effort into it. And then lifting the left arm up and overhead, gently lowering that right arm and elbow to the mat. And if it's accessible to you today, you can open up that elbow, the upper elbow, and look under it, making sure that the knees are kept flat on the floor as much as possible, or as low as possible. And relax that out. Inhaling, remember to breathe as you're doing these exercises. Inhaling, again, spider walking across the left side of your mat, dropping the elbow down gently, lifting the right arm up and over, keeping those hips grounded, looking under the right armpit. Open that out, feeling that side body stretch coming into play. Inhaling, the ribs are opening up like an accordion. Exhale. And floating that arm back down. Wonderful. Again, on the other side, spider walking over to the right. And just gently dropping the elbow down, lifting the left arm up and overhead, taking it right up and over. You can just remain staring at the screen in front of you, keeping the head in a very neutral position, the neck in a neutral position, and opening up that so that your chest starts to shine towards the sky, taking the arm a little higher and the elbows wider to look under that armpit area. And release that out. Wonderful. Floating that arm down. Just pausing here for a moment. Inhaling, then spider walking across the mat to the left, dropping the elbow down, lifting the right arm up and overhead. And again, breathing in this space. Inhaling, feeling any sort of information coming out of that right side of the body, any tension, any tightness, and allowing that to release. And exhale. Wonderful. So we're just going to interlace the fingers at the front of the body this time, so making sure that they're nicely locked together and just pushing through, as in arching the back, looking down into the navel area, keeping the arms at shoulder height, tucking the head down and the chin to the chest, just allowing your body to form a C shape. Inhaling here and exhaling, really expanding the shoulder blades. Wonderful. And exhale that down. Opening and releasing the arms nicely and widely. Lifting the arms up and overhead again. Interlacing the fingers, palms together here, but then interlacing, pushing the palms up to the sky and gently twisting to the right side, ensuring that your hips again are flat and your knees are softened to the floor. Looking towards the direction of the right. And just gently bringing it up to center and just gently twisting over to the left. And twisting just means twisting the upper body and not bending over the body to the side. Again, be mindful of the spine. Inhaling. Exhale, gently come back to center. Release the fingers and the hands and rotate the wrists all the way down. Wonderful. So I'm just going to turn to the side, but you can remain where you are if you've got enough space behind you. I'm going to remain into my cross-legged position, easy posture, or you may wish to keep straight legs in front of you, whichever is comfortable and accessible to you today. We're going to take the arms nice and wide, taking them around to the back body. So this time we're going to interlace the fingers to the back, keeping a nice straight spine and extending the arms up and squeezing the shoulder blades towards each other this time. Now, if you can't interlace the fingers, you may wish to just hold on to the elbows or just clasp the hands gently behind the back. This will allow these shoulders to open up either way. So a gentle modification, and I'll give you a back view here, would be to hold on to the wrists. Making it a little bit more intense will allow you to hold on to the elbow area. And if this is still a bit easier for you today and you wish to increase the challenge on it, then you may wish to interlace the fingers and really squeeze those shoulder blades in, which allows the front body to open up. So you can take any variation that you wish at this stage and which is comfortable and doesn't cause you any discomfort. Inhaling. Exhale. Notice any tension in the hips. Inhale. Exhale. And as we're in this position, we're going to work on a few neck movements. So we're going to inhale, taking the head up, chin to the sky. Exhale, taking it down to the chest. And again, inhaling, up to the sky. Pausing here, softening the shoulders down. Exhaling, taking the chin to the chest. Inhaling up to neutral. This time we're going to take the eyes and the chin over to the left-hand side. So inhaling, gently rotating the head to the left. Exhaling back to center. Inhale here. Take that movement over to the right. Exhaling back to center. Inhale to the left. Exhale back to center. One last time to the right. Inhale, over to the right. Keeping the chin parallel with the floor. Exhale back to center. Wonderful. Releasing the arms, really giving the shoulders a bit of a roll here, because we would have released a lot of that tension that came in there, giving them some shoulder shrugs. So we're going to breathe in, inhaling, and just exhaling with a shrug. Inhale, taking the shoulders high up to the sky, to the ears, and exhale down. Inhaling in, taking the shoulders high to the sky, really squeezing into that area of the neck where those glands are, almost causing that little massage there, and exhale it down. And one last time we do it, and then you'll come out with an R breath. So inhaling, taking the shoulders nice and high, squeezing that up there into the neck area, and release. Wonderful. So we're just going to take the head down into some gentle neck rolls onto the chest area, in semicircular direction, just half neck rolls. Taking the chin to the chest, imagine you're squeezing a little marshmallow or something between the chin and that part of the neck. Just hold it there. Inhaling. Exhaling in that position, keeping the neck nice and long. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And on the exhale, we're going to take it over to the left, just gently rolling to the left shoulder and stopping here. Exhaling back. Inhaling at center, rolling over to the right. Exhaling. Just gently tipping the head back so that you can feel that working all the muscles in the neck. Inhale it here. Back to center. Other side. Inhaling at the center. And rolling over, exhaling to the left. Inhaling here. And coming back to center. Inhaling at the center. And exhale to the right. Inhale at right. And exhale, rolling round to the center. And just pausing here for a moment, gently lifting the head and the chin up to central position. Wonderful. We're just going to do a gentle side stretch on the neck. So again, probably some familiar movements, taking your left hand over to the right ear in a scissor-like position with the index finger and the middle finger, so that the ear is lying between these two fingers, gently tipping the head to the left shoulder. Inhaling here, encouraging that head down to the shoulder with the hand, applying a slight pressure, but not yanking it down to the shoulder. Inhaling, all gentle movements. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Gently release the head, release the hand, and replace on the knee or on the thigh if you're in extended leg position. On the other side, taking the right hand up and over, using that scissor style position with the fingers of the index finger behind the ear and the middle finger in front of the ear. Just drawing that head downwards, inhaling to the right, just keeping that head to shoulder. Try not to bring the shoulder up, so soften the shoulders consciously down. And just breathe into that. You may wish to close your eyes to enjoy this neck stretch. You gently feel your breath rising in the chest and the abdomen, drawing the navel to the spine on your exhale. And gently releasing that out, releasing the right hand down to the knee and taking the head back up to center. Just giving it a gentle organic movement in any direction that you wish, non-jerkily, little gentle circles or figures of 8. Very, very slowly, as if you're moving in slow motion. You may wish to keep your eyes closed, just to allow the head to feel any little niggles or knots. And then just gently coming back to center and taking a deep breath in and exhale. Wonderful. So remaining in a cross-legged position if you're there, we're going to do some spinal rocks. Now, if the cross-legged position is not allowing you this position today, if the ankles are not allowing you to do that, the hips are not allowing this, and you wish to keep a straightened leg on both legs, that's absolutely fine as well. I'm going to demonstrate both so that you may observe what I mean by spinal rocks. Now, people think, oh no, it's the spine, it's something to be worried about. Yes, it's to be worried about, but if done correctly, you should have no worries. And this will help to activate the spine, to draw a lot of energy up and down in these sluggish parts of the body. The spine tends to get compressed quite a lot when we're seated for long periods of time, if we're at a computer, if we're operating a particular piece of machinery, or if we're actually driving for a long period of time. So this is going to aid in expanding that, allowing it to open up, as I say, accordion style, really accessible to the body, and the spine is really our center bone, so we've got to make sure that it's working and it's healthy. It's not just a static stick that fixes our body, it moves in 6 different directions, it flexes side to side, front to back, and also it allows us to twist from side to side as well. It's quite an incredible piece of the body. So before we go into a full anatomy lesson, we're going to go into the spinal rocks. So just observation at the moment, I'm going to do my spinal rocks by hooking my hands underneath my knees. So I'm just going to rock in this. Now I've crossed my ankles, but you can keep your ankles uncrossed. I'm just going to gently lower myself down, and you can take this as fast or as slow as possible. It can become quite addictive if you've got a healthy-ish spine and you want to sort of get it quite invigorated. But it helps to activate a lot of those lower muscles, and you can take it right round to the back. But just keep it nice and slow and gentle if you wish. You may wish to take the rock very slowly, lower it down, come all the way back onto the back of the neck. Try not to stop yourself and keep your head up. Try to take it all the way back and let the back of the head come down on the mat. Make sure that you've got a lot of padding on the mat. Of course, if you suffer any sort of things, and I should have said this before, in terms of vertigo, if you think this is going to cause you dizziness, then please refrain from doing it, and you may wish to just take a very gentle approach by just lowering yourself down, lifting the legs up, and then just gently coming back up. Okay, but if you wish to get it quite invigorating, you can exercise the spine by doing these spinal rocks. It kind of almost takes you back to childhood days where you're on a swing. But once you feel you've had enough, 8 to 10 or 15 rocks, then allow yourself to come back up into sitting for a moment. Just a breath, holding on to the knees, keeping a very straight back. Closing the eyes for a moment, keeping the soles of the feet flat onto the mat. And gently allow yourself to roll down into a lying position on the mat. So keeping the legs in line with the hips, toes pointing up towards the sky so the feet are flexed. Lifting the arms together, both parallel and up and over the head. Hold on to the elbows, so you're framing your head inside of this little box you've created with your arms. This allows the shoulders to open up as well, allows the armpit area to get some space. And just gently and unknowingly, just take the little pinky feet to the outside of the mat. And just gently pause some rotations with the ankles going left and right. Taking a nice deep breath, inhaling. Taking the arms back down to the side, palms facing each other, but not touching. Inhaling here, taking the arms up and overhead, all the way back. Exhale it down, all the way up and over to the side of the body, keeping the knees and the hips in alignment. Inhale, taking the arms up and overhead in a gentle movement here. And exhale it down, taking it all the way up. So allowing that shoulder to really open up in the rotation. This time we're going to take with an alternate leg, alternate arm. So I'm going to lift my right arm and my left leg. So inhaling, taking that both up. Exhaling it down. Inhaling the opposite side, both legs up. One leg up, right leg. Exhale it down. Now the both arms should be up at the top of the head. And we're going to now bring them together on the opposite alternative sides. So alternate sides, lifting the right arm and the left leg to almost touch, but just come to the center point. So inhaling here. And on the exhale, we move. And taking it down. Inhale. Inhaling deeply. And exhale it out. Opposite leg and inhale here. Exhale. Bring them together. Left leg, right hand. And release. Inhale. Left arm, right arm. And release. Wonderful. And just drawing the knees up into the chest, just keeping the knees together and just create some gentle circles with the hips and the knees just to massage the lower back. Rotate in one direction. And then just reverse that rotation in the other direction. Wonderful. Allow yourself to hook your hands behind the knees this time again. And we're just gently going to rock ourselves up into a sitting position. Coming back onto our mats. We're going to come up into a sort of seated posture here. So we're going to do something called we call a fallen star. So we're going to bring the sole of the right foot into the groin area. And I'm going to face you into this sort of V-shaped structure. So if your legs were in a V, you'd be a wide V. But we're just going to gently draw in the left leg, the sole into and against the right leg. So we're creating this beautiful formation, almost like an L. And we're just going to take our arms up and overhead, inhaling. Just gently twisting here towards the extended leg and folding over. Now you can place the hands anywhere the back will lead you to. So if your hands can't reach the toes, that's absolutely fine. Just drop them anywhere and try to draw the chin towards the knee or towards any part of the leg that is accessible to you today. But you're going to feel those areas of the hip starting to open up. And then just gently sliding up that leg, lifting the arms up and overhead, coming back to center, and just gently twisting to the left side and coming over, letting the hands just drop anywhere serves you today. So if the head can't come all the way down to the knee, that's fine. You can keep it quite high. You might be here today, you might be actually just extended quite further up. Ensure that the sit bones are grounded down. So you can use your hands as brakes and almost sort of push yourself back into that position. Inhaling the arms parallel upwards and just gently twisting back to center. Take my left hand to my base of my spine and I'm going to take my right hand up and overhead. Before we start, just allow yourself to just come into a very comfortable arm position, about half a foot away from the spine area. Palms flat on the floor. I'm going to lift my pelvis very high, pushing down onto the ankle of my folded leg and lifting up, rolling onto the knee of my folded leg as well. Lifting up and overhead. So I'm creating a bit of a pointed star with my body. This allows me to really expand and open up, shining my heart to the sky. I'm going to hold it here, breathing, inhaling. If this is not accessible for you today, you may wish to just sit it out and just allow your arm to come up and overhead without lifting that pelvic area and pushing through and really expanding that heart area. Okay, so we're just going to go back into that. I'm going to try it on the other side with you. So extending my leg out. Okay, so the sole of my right leg is into, and I'm going to lift up and overhead. So I'm actually using my arm like a lever, rolling onto my knee, allowing that to open up and taking it as far back as would allow you. Bringing that back down where you feel necessary. Now, of course, if you're not able to lift that, then you may just wish to just take it here and lift up and open it in this fashion. And we're just going to come onto our mats into a lovely kneeling posture. So we haven't done any kneeling for today yet. Keeping the knees together and keeping the toes untucked. So I'm not in this position where I'm high up and stretching the toes, but I'm actually sitting flat on the top of the instep of the foot. So I'm in a kneeling posture here, allowing my hands to fall just gently onto the kneecaps. Allow your spine to flow nice and tall. Try not to arch the back too much, but just draw the tailbone under. Allow the eyes to close, the head to float gently upon the neck. Soften the shoulders, ensure that you're not scrunching them up to the neck. And inhale. Exhale, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, and with every breath, allow that energy to just replenish in the body. Inhaling, filling yourself with light, and exhaling all that darkness. Inhale. Exhale. Wonderful. So we've now gotten into a little bit of a warming up for coming onto our knees. So the next posture I'd like to introduce to you is called the gate pose. And gate pose allows, as the name says, Parigasana, allows a particular type of opening in the body. It's a hip opener. It allows massaging and circulation of blood in the lungs, toning of the lungs and abdominals. So there are a lot of benefits to be had with the gate pose. I'm going to go into it first, and then I will talk you through it. So we normally would come up onto the knees, high up on the knees in this position, keeping our feet flat. So I'm just showing you the position from behind because you can't see that camera angle there. So from behind, I'm going to gently allow myself, now it's a bit of a balance as well. So ensure that you've got something nearby just in case to fall upon. But I'm going to place a block here. You can have something a little bit higher, a textbook or something, because I've got a little bit of shorter arms here. So I'm going to breathe in, and I'm just gently going to extend my right leg. Okay, so I'm extending my right leg, and I'm placing my four corners of my feet down. Now notice that I'm leaning forward here, and this is not the posture that I really want to have. So I want to draw myself back as if I'm between two planes of glass. So my foot should be aligned with my knee. So this is the posture here if we were actually in, making sure that the edge of the foot is flat on the floor. And we're just going to allow ourselves to come down onto spider hands if you don't have a block to assist you, and allow that balance to just take place. So inhaling here, making sure that the hips are open nice and wide. You're pushing down onto the shin as well. You're gently applying a little pressure onto the earth. You're going to take now the hand that's released on the upper side and lifting it up and overhead. So bringing it close to the air, allowing that side body stretch to really work its way into your system. Accordion style, it helps to release any tension in the intercostal muscles in between the ribs. So anything that's been compressed over the day or over the months or the years that you've had in particular repetitive positions will start to loosen up and you'll feel much more elongated. Just gently bringing that down and placing that upon the top of the hip there, and just gently release your hand from the floor. We're going to come up into an open gate position. So lifting the opposite arm up and overhead and gently sliding that hand down that other side of the leg. Brilliant. And breathe it here. Ensuring that you're not leaning forward or backwards, and just gently release that out. Wonderful. Bringing that back down, softly sliding that leg back up to kneeling, and we'll come into a gentle child's pose. Just rest it out for a moment, because we haven't had a child's pose today, which is a very restorative posture. Keeping the head nice and low. You may wish to keep the knees nice and wide and just melt the chest forward into that space. Gently come out of that once you've allowed yourself to do a fair bit of breathing, thoracic breathing there, and getting into a nice zone of relaxation, but we don't want you to get there too soon. So we've got to do the gate pose on the opposite side. So again, coming back into that kneeling posture, allowing yourself a particular distance on the mat. So you're just going to do the opposite side, taking the shins to the floor, and just allowing yourself to just kind of steady that balance. I mean, this in itself is a balance on a high kneeling position. So I'm just going to extend now my right leg to the side of the mat and just allow it to come to a 90-degree angle. Make sure that the foot is aligned with the knee and the hip. And you're pressing down to the outer edge of that right foot. Now, it may not always be accessible if you try to push down on it, because there are lots of little muscles all up the hamstrings and so on. It may be that you haven't worked those muscles in a little while. So just allow yourself that limitation today. Just soften it and do what is necessary by softening the knees as well for those modifications. So we're just allowing this posture to take its course at the moment. And just gently allowing that left side of the body to come down to the mat. Spider tip fingers, lifting the right arm up and overhead to allow that really long side body stretch, remembering that extended leg and imagining that the body is between two panes of glass, so that you're not leaning forward or leaning backwards. Breathe it here and really enjoy this posture. Now, you wish to come down onto flat palms if it will allow you, or you may wish to also use a block just to bring that arm up if you're not able to go as low. Inhaling here, really pushing down. Exhaling. And just gently float that arm up and over to the thigh area. Inhaling this time on the opposite side, taking that arm up and overhead and sliding down the right leg. Opening up the chest, opening up the hips. Not forgetting that foot that's flat on the floor. Inhaling. Exhaling. And then just gently float that arm down, really feeling that our rib cage has allowed that expansion today. And gently sliding that leg back up into together with the other and coming down into a restorative child's pose. So coming into either extended child if you wish, or a wide child. So taking the knees quite wide and melting the heart forward into that place. Keeping the head quite low to the mat, or creating a couple of fists for that experience of resting the third eye on that area. Inhaling, exhaling. And just gently lifting yourself upwards, closing the legs from that restorative child's pose, and gently sliding yourself all the way down onto your mat, allowing yourself the full extension of the body on your front side. Let the head just relax in a position here onto the cheek, and gently sway the hips from side to side, letting the toes point inwards. Just allowing the shoulders to soften to the mat, pressing the front of the chest to the mat, and then the navel area, being very conscious about these pressure points in the body. Pressing the pelvis and the hips into the mat and releasing those. Pressing the thighs into the mat and release. Pressing the knees into the mat and release. The shins, tops of the feet, and release. We're just gently going to roll over onto our backs here. So in a very soft motion, just allow yourself to roll over. And let your chin come into the chest area. Allowing the arms to spread wide and the palms to face upwards to the sky. Let the legs be wide as well. And toes flop outwards. Feeling the pressure on the back of the head on the mat. Gently soften the neck into the mat. Gently press the shoulders into the mat, the upper back, and moving down the body into the middle back, and then the lower back. The hips, and release. The buttocks, and release. Backs of the thighs, hamstrings. Backs of the knees, so that you flex your toes up to the sky, and release. And backs of the calves, release. The ankles, a gentle rotation here. And just point your toes and relax. We're going to enter relaxation, so you may wish to close your eyes at this stage and just be absorbed by the energy around you and the earth. Allow those fingers to move, awakening the body. Gently sway the hips from side to side, and softly roll the head from right to left, giving the back of the head a massage on the mat. Bringing the head back up into a neutral central position. Drawing the knees into the chest and hugging them lovingly. Gently rock from side to side, placing the palms onto the kneecaps and just giving them some soft rolls in a clockwise direction. Sending that massage to the lower back and then changing the rotation to the opposite side. Softening the knees and releasing the feet to the mat. Extending the arms to shoulder height, palms facing downwards. And allowing those knees together to lift off the floor and roll over onto the right side into a gentle twist. So keeping the upper body to the mat, shoulders to the mat, just taking the knees over to the right. Allowing the lower back to release here. Inhaling through that side body, exhale. And then just lifting back to center and over onto the other side. Keeping the shoulders flat on the mat, but extending those knees over to the left side of the body into a gentle twist. Inhaling, exhaling, drawing those knees up and just gently allow yourself to roll over onto your right side. Creating a pillow with your hands for your head. In your own time and with your own breath, allow yourself to gently come up into an easy seated posture so that we may close the practice. Taking 3 deep breaths here. Inhale, taking the arms wide, palms to the sky, eyes to the sky, and generating that energy down into the heart. Exhale. Inhaling it nice and wide. And exhale it down. Deep breath here. Inhale. Palms together, pausing at the crown of the head to acknowledge the intuition of the practice. Bringing the hands to the lips for the honesty of the practice and ourselves, and the heart space for the love of our bodies and the practice. Namaste.